Hey, Brandon here. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're going to talk about my day three sleepers to target. All right. We know the majority of guys in day three, you go back in history, you're going to see that day three guys rarely turn into dynasty, long-term dynasty consistent assets. So it's really important to really take a look at some things when you look at day three guys. What do I look for? I look for opportunity. I look for not forgetting the film grade we put on these guys prior to the draft, right? We scout these players as we head into the draft. So that's what I'm looking for. And I've got 7 guys that I want to talk about today. So on this channel as well, I just released a rookie mock draft. I did a day 1 landing spot grade show. I did a day 2 landing spot grade show again. So thanks for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button if you are not a subscriber to the channel. I'm going to be focusing on dynasty content, rookie content, and then soon we're going to be talking about Devy and college guys for the 2024 draft class. So hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you tuning in. So let's get right to it, all right? Hey, listen, man, I know we're going to go I'm going to do one quarterback in this show I want to talk about, all right? So we know about the 4 guys, 5 guys at the top. We know about Hendon Hooker, right? So for a day 3 guy that was drafted in day 3, a sleeper, I want to talk about Stetson Bennett going to the Rams, round 4, 128th overall pick in the draft. I really like the draft capital of round 4, to be honest with you, and I love his landing spot. I gave him a landing spot grade of an A. So right now in rookie draft, you can see here on the sideshow, he's getting basically round 4 draft capital. All right. So, which is about normal for, the 5th or 6th, quarterback taking in the NFL draft. But what do I like about it? I think he has the opportunity, as crazy as this sounds, to be possible a future starter. I mean, this guy has been disrespected. He's got 2 big rings on his finger from winning college championships at Georgia. And no one's talking about him. Yeah, he's a little undersized. I think he's 6 foot, 200 and something pounds. But, we don't care about that with Bryce Young. Bryce Young has the elite other aspects of his game, the mental processing, the be able to accuracy, pinpoint accuracy. But let's not lose sight of Stetson Bennett. Round 4 draft capital isn't all that bad, right? So Matthew Stafford isn't the most healthy guy. He's probably towards the end of his career. And he might retire sooner than later. So Stetson Bennett is a sneaky play here. I'm drafting him in all my rookie drafts. I mean, in round 4, early in round 4. So you can see this, from this ADP, I've probably looked at 20 to 30 ADP recent rookie mocks since the draft. This is about the place that he's getting, taken in rookie drafts. Don't leave your draft without Stetson Bennett. He could be a sneaky play. If Matthew Stafford gets hurt, he might have the opportunity to come in and, spot start, or, this is more of a long-term play of them maybe developing him. But, I think Stetson Bennett showed at Georgia, he's got the smarts, he's got, decent, adequate arm talent. And if he can, decipher the defenses and have that mental processing part of his game, there's a chance he could be like a Kirk Cousins type kind of wide receiver, quarterback 3 in the league. So I'm not expecting much from him this year, but he could be possibly a future starter. So Jake Hayner's another guy that a lot of people are kind of, talking about getting, but I want to go a little deeper than that. And Stetson Bennett is a guy that I'm going to be coming away with in most of my rookie drafts. All right, let's get to the running back position. All right, ROSCHON Johnson, I give this guy a landing spot grade of an A. Drafted round 4. Love the landing spot. The depth chart is really, really, all you got is Khalil Herbert, who has 2 years left on his deal. He's a nice player and will probably start the season, I'm thinking, getting the majority of the carries until ROSCHON Johnson can get a little acclimated to the NFL. But other than that, I mean, D'Onta Foreman has been, brought in on a 1-year deal before the draft. So that was an insurance policy, I think, just as they had a body. There's nobody else on this roster right now that I'm even nearly excited about as a dynasty producer at all. And I like his game. I mean, ROSCHON Johnson was a top 5 ranked running back coming into the class for me. And here he gets round 4 draft capital, not that bad at all. He's in a rookie draft ADP. We're looking at 205 to 212. That's about where he's going. But this guy should be picked pretty early, I think, in your running back pecking order. I think he could be immediate co-starter. I think he has a 1-year projection you can see here on the screen. This is kind of what I'm projecting based on who's leaving. I mean, this is all, again, very early projections. We got a lot of work to do before fall ball. So, but I think the potential dynasty value that he could have is an RB2. I mean, I think, this is a regime that wants their own guy. They got rid of David Montgomery. He's now in the Lions. And, it's going to be the Khalil Herbert show and ROSCHON Johnson. So, I don't know what the cap hit is on Khalil Herbert next year if they were to cut him, but I mean, Khalil Herbert was a, 6th-round draft pick, so he doesn't really have the draft capital either to be a long sustaining dynasty asset. Roschon Johnson is a guy I'm pretty excited about. All right. Eric Gray finds himself in a really, really good spot to me. All right. So I gave him a landing spot grade of a B. Where he's getting drafted, he's a 4th-round pick pretty much, through and through when you look at ADP on drafts. I think his opportunity this year could be a backup, and he's a stash play for me. His 1-year projection, I've got him, 200 yards, maybe a touchdown. I think his dynasty value could be an RB4, maybe 5, but I think I'm more leaning towards the 4. I wasn't a big fan from a scouting standpoint of Eric Gray from his film. Again, you can go on this channel and look at the film review that I did on him. I don't think he's going to be a guy that if Saquon Barkley were to leave, because let's not forget, Saquon Barkley, he's on a franchise tag deal. They brought in Breida for 1 year, right? So this is the ultimate handcuff play. I mean, Breida can't stay healthy either, so he's been nicked up his whole career. So Eric Gray is a great stash here. In round 4, I mean, I'm all over it at that value to add him. As much as I didn't like his film from a bell cow standpoint, serviceable as a running back for sure if Saquon Barkley was to get hurt. All right. Another guy that I really didn't come into the draft, I didn't have Zach Evans in my top 8 or 9 running backs from a skill set standpoint. And again, go back and on this channel and take a look at the film review that I did on him, and I can clearly see that I thought he had vision issues and stuff like that. But you can't deny the value here. Round 6, I mean, I'm not surprised at the round 6 draft capital based on what I saw when I analyzed him from a film standpoint. But the Rams went, they moved up to grab the guy. And let's look at the depth chart again. Cam Akers he was injured at the beginning of the season. They had those, I don't know if he was really injured the whole time or him and the Rams weren't getting along. But when Cam Akers came back last year towards the end of the season, he was very productive. I'm expecting him to go into the season as the number 1 back. But as we've seen with the Rams before, Henderson's gone. Kyron Williams is there. He's really hasn't done anything. He's not the most athletic guy in the world. Zach Evans is a lot more athletic than him. And Ronnie Rivers is there, but cry me a river, right? Ronnie Rivers, he's a nothing in Dynasty. So again, Zach Evans is finding himself in a great handcuff situation. If Cam Akers were to get nicked up, Zach Evans might, be able to, find himself on the field this year. McShay said some really nice stuff about him too, after the draft. So there is a good chance that Zach Evans, he's in rookie draft. He's going in the 3rd round. People aren't, they're going on. Listen, I wasn't a fan of Zach Evans, but there's a ton of people out there that really were, that had him in the top 3, 4. He was outside my top 8. So, but again, I'm looking at the value here, right? I mean, looking at all the other players in day 3, I mean, only a handful of these guys in day 3 are going to hit our dynasty rosters. Like I said at the beginning of the show, go back and look at history. At day 3 wide receivers, running backs, it's not a pretty scene, okay? So, but here with the value, you can't pass it up. I'll take a shot that maybe my scouting was incorrect and he's better than I thought. So here, again, is where I'm going to take him. But he's going to be a clear backup to Cam Akers and might find himself on the field. I don't think he's not much of a pass catcher out of the backfield. He was serviceable at Ole Miss with that, but he didn't excel at that. It's not part of his game. So I don't think he's going to come in as a 3rd down guy catching passes. But if something happens to Cam Akers, man, Zach Evans has the opportunity to get on the field. All right, the last running back I'm going to talk about is Evan Hull, okay? And what I like about this pick, all right, going to the Colts, gave him a landing spot grade of a B, and here's why. Shane Steichen is now the head coach. He comes from my Philadelphia Eagles. I live in Philly, right? So I've been able to see what he does with the running backs. And here in Philadelphia, it was one of the most frustrating things for me watching Miles Sanders not get the ball consistently. They put in Gainwell, they put in Boston Scott, they'll put in somebody else, and he loves to rotate his back. So I'm thinking Jonathan Taylor's been nicked up for the last couple years, all right? And there's a good chance that Evan Hull's game is not running in between the tackles. Evan Hull does not have the physical play strength, I think, to be a consistent guy running in between the tackles. But he's going to be a serviceable running back who's going to be able to give Jonathan Taylor spells off the field, and he has the ability to catch a lot of passes out of the backfield. So he could be a PPR monster. Right now, I gave him a landing spot grade of a B. His rookie draft ADP is in the 4th round. I've seen him early as the 4th round, and I've seen him not even drafted until the middle of the 5th. So it's like all over the place with Evan Hull. Some people are like, Jonathan Taylor's back up, not interested. But, again, if you got own Jonathan Taylor, I mean, you draft this kid as a handcuff. And not only that, but like I said, Shane, the new coach, man, the Philadelphia Eagles, man, they rotate those running backs. So there's a chance Evan Hall, could get on the field. I think he's going to be a pass catching back for the Colts. You can see here, I have year one production is a PPR production of 30 receptions, 400 yards, and 1 touchdown. I mean, I think legitimately he could take that Nyheim Hines role and be a productive player right out of the gate. I mean, his dynasty value, his potential is, probably an RB5. But, Nyheim Hines is in there. They got the other kid from Utah. His name's escaping me right now. But, he didn't do anything last year. So I think Evan Hall has the ability to come in and carve out a small role. They drafted him. They're going to maybe throw him in there to be an exciting, explosive player that they can utilize within the offense. All right. So there's 2 wide receivers I want to talk about to round out the show. KAYSON Boutte, however you want to say his last name, landing spot grade of an A-. All right. 6th round draft pick. Now you go back to 2021 and watch KAYSON Boutte a year ago before the draft. I mean, people were talking about he was a 1st round talent. 2022 season was one to forget. I did some scouting on him, again, on this channel. You can go see a film review on him. He wasn't interested in playing in 2022, coming off an ankle injury that ended his 2021 season prematurely. But this kid's got opportunity. I mean, Jacoby Myers is now a Raider, right? Nelson Aguilar is now a Raven. Stevenson, the guy in the backfield, actually caught more passes than Jacoby Myers. So, Ramondre Stevenson was the number 1 pass catcher on the team last year. So, I mean, there is a huge opportunity. And we're going to find out early if KAYSON Boutte is, got it all upstairs, right? I mean, that was one of the issues with him, off the field issues, the dedication, the work ethic, blah, blah, blah. Well, you go up to and play for Bill Belichick, you're going to find out real quick whether or not they like you or not. So we're going to find out early. But here, man, again, value round 6. Landing spot wide open. I mean, God, they need pass catchers desperately. Got Devontae Parker there and maybe 1 or 2 other players. Maybe it's escaping my mind right now. But anyway, he has the ability. So this is a risk-reward shot I'm willing to take with KAYSON Boutte. I mean, without a doubt. I think he could be a possible starter this year. And if he goes up there and wants to prove everyone wrong, maybe he's got a chip on his shoulder that says, you know what, round 6, man, a year ago they were talking I was going to be a day 1 guy. Now day 6, he just might have that motivation to do something. A risk, a pick here in the 3rd round, I'm willing to take. I'm going to be taking Boutte. I'm going to take that upside that I saw on that 2021 film. All right, the last guy I want to talk to is a guy that's not getting drafted much at all in rookie drafts, and that's okay. But my deep sleeper of this show, I wanted to wait till the very end to throw him out there, is Charlie Jones going to the Bengals. Round 4 draft capital, not too shabby. All right, now listen, I know this kid's old. I know he's been in college forever, but man, I'll tell you, go back and watch his Purdue tape this year. Go on this channel. Again, I know I sound like a broken record. I did a film study with him playing against Penn State, and the dude can get open, physical player. Give him a landing spot of a B-, all right? But I'm thinking Tyler Boyd next year is an undrafted free agent, and there's a chance, taking round 4 draft capital, round 4. I mean, for a guy that, wasn't in anyone's top 20, I don't know. I think that draft capital is telling me something. Charlie Jones coming into the draft was my sleeper, my deep sleeper of the class. Really liked his film, and like I said, he's not getting drafted, as you can see here on the screen. I think he's an opportunity as a future starter and maybe be a wide receiver 4 or 5. I mean, I'm not looking for a lot of year 1 production. These are, again, just kind of estimates based on what's going on. I mean, we know Higgins, but here's the way I look at it. Higgins is going to get paid. All right. And of course, they're never going to get rid of Chase, right? So they're going to spend money on those 2 wide receivers. They're not going to want to spend a lot of money on the rest of that wide receiver crew. They're just not going to be able to afford it and pay Burrow. So if they want to keep those 2 receivers, I'm thinking Charlie Jones is someone that they're looking to in the future of saying, let's get him in here. Let's get him acclimated. So when we lose Tyler Boyd next year, they're certainly not going to pay for Tyler Boyd again. We can slide Charlie in there. That's what I'm hoping anyway, but I don't know. that's what I got. So I really like his film. I suggest you go and take a look at his film. And, against Penn State, his first game from last season from college ball, the dude gets open and he's physical and he's got some good hands and stuff like that. So not the most athletic guy in the world, but it's all about quick areas, short quickness versus, kind of long speed and stuff like that. So there you guys got it, man. Those are my day 3 guys. These are the guys that I'm going to be targeting in my rookie drafts in the 3rd and 4th rounds. All right. The 5th round is like the abyss. You just close your eyes, you throw a dart and see what happens. But this is where the value is in rookie drafts. This is where you have to do your scouting and do your research, because if you can hit 1 or 2 guys in the 3rd or 4th rounds and they become, consistent dynasty producers, that's where you win your drafts. So again, thank you for tuning in, guys. Hit this channel. This channel, like I said before, is dedicated to helping you as dynasty owners learn about rookies before the draft. And I'm going to be doing all sorts of dynasty and Devy content, which is basically another term for developmental for college guys. And I'll be soon focusing on the 2024 class, where I'm going to be, doing deep down scouting on next year's rookie class. So if you're not, subscribed to a channel that kind of gives you that information, hit the subscribe button. Again, thanks for watching.